What's happening, everybody? It's your man, Dame the NYDC. Two mics up. We back again, season 5. Back at it in the lab. And today on the other mic, I have an important guest. Important to me in the sense that, we have another man, a man of color, actually here in my own backyard that's really doing great things and great work with an organization that, funny enough, and I'm gonna tell you how I came across it. You know how sometimes, gentlemen, your wife give you a to-do list, honey-do list, and you have different things to do around the house, and you're going around. You have sometimes Home Depot and Lowe's or whatever. And in my community, right across the street, actually, location called Habitat for Humanity. And I just happened to stroll in. I was like, who knew? I go in and I'm picking up some things or whatever, checking off my honey-do list, and I dawned on me. I was like, this thing is right here in my own backyard. So where did it come from? Like, how did it all get started? What's it all about? Well, today's guest is going to help educate us. And really, we're going to help shine a light on him, the work that he's doing through Habitat for Humanity, and just really chop it up. So let me bring to the stage today's guest, Mr. Markus Crewe. Markus, how you doing today, my brother?
I'm doing blessed and highly favored, Damon. How about you today?
Hey, man, same here. I could not complain. I'm excited to have you join us because, like I said, going through my checklist my wife gave me and everything, like I said, literally across the street from me, we have a Habitat for Humanity. Never, and this is when you know things are bad. You never really pay attention sometimes to what's right in front of you until you actually need something. But thankfully, they were there when I needed it. And when I did my research and I came across some of the information and I saw you pop up and your information in your bio on LinkedIn, I said, man, I got to reach out to this brother. So Markus, before we really get into the whole Habitat for Humanity story, I want you to take a moment and really give us some background information first about yourself and who Markus Crewe is.
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, my name is Markus Crewe, and I'm the president and executive director over here at Habitat for Humanity, Prince William County. I've been living in the county for roughly going on 10 years now, and I met my wife here, and that's when I moved over here from Richmond. I went undergrad at Virginia State University, and I finished it. I finished my undergrad with Walden University because at the time, my sophomore year, I had my son, so I decided to just drop out so I could take care of him. But after I finished Walden, I ended up going to earn my master's degree at George Mason University and also a Juris Doctorate at George Mason University. Now, the funny thing about it is how I stumbled across Habitat Prince William County is that I needed some extra money, right? Because these degrees out here aren't cheap. So luckily, I saw Habitat for Humanity in my backyard, and I started out as a part-time pickup driver.
Okay.
And when I was driving around in the community, I started seeing the need for affordable housing. The communities were blighted. You're seeing a lot of windows missing out in communities, code violations, so forth and so on. So I wanted to know more about it. And luckily, around 2019, the former executive director gave me the opportunity to step up as a community outreach coordinator. And from there, I did some work at this neighborhood called East End Mobile Home Park that I'm proud of. And from there, unfortunately, I got laid off during the pandemic back in 2020. But that was okay. So by the grace of God, it allowed me to focus on my degrees, and then I completed them.
All right.
And I got a call back in 2021 from somebody saying, hey, we could really use your help because Habitat Prince William is in a dire strait. So I came back as a director of operations. It looked like they was about to shut their doors. I came back, routed the ship, and then they promoted me to executive director. And then you fast track right here, and now I'm president and CEO of the company.
Man, look, that right there, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, that's a story. That's a testament and a story that I'm glad that we're able to share that story because these are the type of things we talked about it behind scenes that are not shared, that are not highlighted. Especially when it comes to our men in our community. And here we have a man that stayed the course
That's right.
and rode the wave, good, bad, or whatever, and still came out on top. And that's what it's all about. And when we talk about coming out on top, though, too, you had talked about some things about, as a driver riding around in the community, you notice certain things, homes in despair, families struggling. And one of the first misconceptions, I have to be honest, really, when I thought about it or was kind of going into this, is I guess it's a huge misconception, really,
Hmm.
is that Habitat for Humanity, is it really only helps third world countries, if you will. Um,
Right.
so can you talk about a little bit more about what you here in Prince William County, what you do through Habitat for Humanity?
Yeah, absolutely. So you're right. There is a misconception that Habitat just helps third world countries, but we also do help in our own community, in our backyard. So since 1994, Habitat Prince William, we have done critical home repairs and home ownership for over 100 families.
Wow.
So we've done over 100 critical home repairs for low income families, for persons
Wow.
with disabilities, low income, and veterans in the community. So I'll give you an example, Damon. So I told you when I was a community outreach coordinator in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So Habitat Prince William, we stepped in to advocate on the behalf of a mobile home park in Manassas called East End Mobile Home Park.
Mm-hmm.
Backstory on that is that the owner of the mobile home park would not take care of code violations where they had sewage coming up over the streets.
Mm.
Over
Mm.
92 families were going to face eviction during
Right.
that time.
Right.
So Habitat stepped up. We advocated on the behalf of the city, and we worked out a partnership with another nonprofit called Catholics for Housing, now CFH,
Mm-hmm.
to save that community. So you
Wow.
have over 92 families now that still in that home.
Man.
Habitat for Humanity, what we decided to do is we put a playground in that community. I led those efforts as a
Oh
community
wow.
outreach coordinator to do that. And then they had an old cinder block building where we ended up creating a resource center. So that way, when they have your capital area food bank come in and have to drop out food for the community
Right.
for the families there, they have a place now. Or they when they have
Wow.
a do a HOA meeting and stuff like that, they have a place where they can now gather. And for fiscal
Awesome.
year 23, we have helped over 17 families in Prince William, Manassas, and Manassas Park. And
Wow.
we're currently looking to assist over 100 families by revitalizing our Bristol Station community, so
Mm-hmm.
where families are facing challenges such as unsafe playgrounds, trash buildup, and repairing homes that currently have like code violations with the city of Manassas.
Oh
We
my
have two
goodness.
homes that we're looking to rehab right now. We just completed that we're looking to put families in who deserve it. And we're
Wow.
also in the process of finding buildable land so that way we can create a low income community for families that call home. And
Wow.
I'm a firm believer that a family should not be forced to choose to either pay their food or pay for a roof over their head.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
and with inflation at an all-time high, families are feeling that pressure here in Northern.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
affordable housing is an issue that our low income families deal with on a daily basis. And instead of talking about it, how bad it is, Habitat is going to do something about it so we can
Mm.
find that land to build that affordable housing that they deserve.
Man, Marcus, that is such an awesome and moving story because I have to be honest with you. It wasn't until a few years ago that come to realize how how many families are actually impacted here in the Northern Virginia area, the Prince William County area. And when I say that, not only low income, we have a lot of tent city
Hmm.
communities. And
Hmm.
is Habitat for Humanity working through with any organizations to help those families as well, or would they be considered low income or no income? Like how does that really work, and what other organizations does Habitat for Humanity really work with? Because I want to be able to send people who maybe don't know where to go
Right.
to be able to get in touch with those services that can maybe then help them get in tune with what you're doing with Habitat for Humanity. Are there any other services or community partners?
Absolutely. So one thing that I advocate for is always partnerships with
Mm-hmm.
other nonprofits that share that same mission goal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, rising waters are going to raise all boats in this scenario, right?
Okay.
That's what I
Okay.
like to say.
Mm-hmm.
So you have acts that's in Prince William in the Dumfries area in the city of Manassas that provides emergency shelter.
Mm-hmm.
They provide job opportunities and also they provide clothing.
Mm-hmm.
You have the Prince William County Community Foundation. that's overseen by a powerful sister named Dr. Vanessa Gattis that has a child wagon that goes out and puts food in the community for
Wow.
low income families.
Wow.
You have Project Menda House that has the same mission work that we do, but on a smaller scale
Mm-hmm.
to help persons with disabilities. So it's a plethora of nonprofits out there that is doing the work. But now I'm just reaching across the table so that way we can pull all of our resources
Right.
together to help our village family.
Mm. And I think that's important. That's why I just wanted to ask that. We want to do our best to go ahead and go back. We're going to capture that information. We also want to add that to the show notes because we really want to help people in our community that are really struggling because the impact is really greater than a lot of times what we see. A lot of times we sit in our own homes, we insulate ourselves from what's going on around us, but our community, there are people that are suffering and there are
That's
people that
right.
are struggling. And I want to make sure that, with this opportunity, we try to give as much information, as many tools for people to be able to go out and use to help better themselves. And I want to lead, that really leads me to my next question because, you're reaching out across the table with other organizations, but I'm just curious to know, as a nonprofit yourself, right?
Mhm.
How does Habitat for Community uh, continue to provide its services for low income residents? Because I think that's important to understand too.
That's a great question, Damon. So we provide our services to low income residents through multiple funding streams that include like our local and state grants.
Mm,
We get grants through nonprofits like the Virginia Housing Development Authority that allows us to have low mortgage rates and
mhm.
low mortgages for our families for our affordable housing programs. We have private donations that we secure. We also do corporate sponsorships like with corporations such as Micron, Bay, Lockheed Martin,
Okay.
all those companies that are in our backyard.
Hmm.
If they're moving in, then they need to give back, right?
Right.
So that's what we have our partnerships through, and also through our restore operations. That's where we pretty much get all of our funding.
Mm. So you mentioned a good part because that was going to be a question that I also had because I noticed that as well. You talk about restore. So
Hmm.
can you take a few minutes, like give us a little breakdown on what the restore is, and
Perfect.
we need to talk about that.
Man, let's go ahead and switch gears on that one. So the restore is a candy store. I will say that. It's where we sell donated furniture, appliances, building materials,
Yep.
housewares at the fraction of the cost.
Hmm.
So our restore operations right now is currently in Manassas off the corner of Dumfries and Hastings Drive.
Hmm.
If you live in Prince William, Manassas, or Manassas Park, and you have a piece of furniture that's taking up space, for example, or you have building materials from a DIY project that you have left over, or you want to upgrade to the newest LG refrigerator that has a screen and you want to get rid of that refrigerator, Habitat is going to, as long as you live in our community, we're going to pick that up for free. And
Okay.
then we bring it back to our restore and then we sell it at the fraction of the cost. And again, all proceeds from the restore go back into our community to fund our critical home repairs and our home ownership programs.
That's what I because that's what I did. Ran into, like I said, when my wife gave me that honey do list and all. So and that's how I came. So I thought that was awesome. I think a lot of people here in Prince William County, if you haven't already, take some time, go down, check it out, man. Because like you said, at a fraction of the cost of sometimes a Home Depot or a Lowe's, especially when it's not a major project. But is this something real handy that you need to maybe just take care of around the house? Habitat for Humanity, the restore, is a perfect place to go. And I love how he said it's a candy store. Because really, well, I felt like a kid in a candy store. I mean, that's a great way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can get lost in that. You
Yeah.
really can. You really can. And to all the listeners, I even give you a jewel for the day. So we partner with Lowe's and Home Depot. You said
See?
that, right?
Yeah, see?
Sometimes Lowe's and Home Depot will have returns that come back from their customers and they can't put that stuff on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be something where a customer bought it and it was the wrong product and they opened it up,
Yep.
or they have a door that's the wrong size.
Mm-hmm.
Lowe's and Depot can't put that back on their sales floor. But
Right.
I'll tell you what they can do. They donate it to Habitat. We pick it up and then we bring it into our stores on Fridays and Saturdays, and you can get brand new materials,
Yep.
products, or any type of tool at 60% off.
Man, it's awesome. I mean, it is really it's a huge, it's a win-win. You
Absolutely.
know, at the end of the day, it's a win-win. You know, unfortunately, yeah, we if you're a homeowner, you've experienced that. You know, I bought something wrong size, it was off by 2 inches, whatever it may be, wrong color, didn't look aesthetically as the way you thought. You return it.
Mhm.
It's a win-win where you can go in instead of going back to Lowe's or Home Depot and starting the whole process all over again. When you go right around the corner and you might be able to find it right there in the restore, and you've done it for a fraction of the cost, and it does the same thing. So I want to make sure people just understand that, especially fellas, you ain't got nothing to do on Friday, Saturday. Just go hang out in the restore for a minute. Go get some candy and check off some honeydew list things and make the wife happy. You
Please do pull up. Please pull up.
So Marcus, on the other side of things, right? So we've talked about um you know, Habitat for Humanity itself. But now I want to talk about you for a second.
Okay.
You know, you've been able to share with us your background, college and everything like that. But there's a business to this, even though as a nonprofit, but there's still some things and responsibilities. And
Mhm.
within your responsibilities, can you kind of share maybe some of the challenges that you faced while operating now as president and CEO?
Oh,
Of Habitat for Humanity, because I think that's huge. I think people need to really understand some of the your background or the other side of what
yeah,
goes on.
absolutely. So I would say the biggest challenge for me was keeping the doors open during the
Mm,
pandemic.
mm,
So, mind you, I was laid off in 2020, and they asked me to come back as a director of operations of 2021.
mm.
So, I'm gonna give you a backstory with that. So, during the pandemic, Habitat Prince William was forced to close its doors, and we actually ended up facing an uphill battle of keeping our employees employed, the
Mm-hmm.
morale up,
Mm.
and also trying to innovate and create ways to have customers come in and shop at the restore during lockdown, right? We used to have two restores. So you're in the Woodbridge area. We used
Mm-hmm.
to have one in Woodbridge,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right on the corner of Minnieville Road.
Yep.
We had to shut that down, unfortunately, because of the
Mm.
pandemic.
Wow.
Our affiliate ended up going into debt.
Wow.
You know, our former executive director, she decided to retire at the end of 2020.
Wow.
And then with her retirement announcement, our board of directors dwindled from 12 to only two.
Oh, wow.
Two members in a 4 month period. And
Wow.
then 4 months later, the operations director ended up leaving. And then it was talks of our affiliate to either shut the doors from Habitat International,
Mm-hmm.
or merge with another affiliate.
Wow.
So they came up to me and said, "Hey, can you come out and see if you can help us out? We know you have a background. We know you have a passion about it." And the one thing I wasn't going to do, Damon, I wasn't going to merge with another affiliate.
I know
And
that's right.
here's why. If I merge, let's say if I would have merged with Nova Habitat or Loudon Habitat, right?
Okay. Okay.
Of course, that other affiliate is going to make sure their affiliate is prioritized and their
Okay.
members in their community are prioritized first.
Mm-hmm.
Then Prince William Manassas and Manassas Park residents get on the back burner.
Mm-hmm.
This won't go be that with me,
I know that's right.
so, especially with my people. So I said, no, what we're going to end up doing is we're going to evolve. We're going to restructure the organization. We're going to provide some direction. We ended up increasing employee salaries. I'm going to
Wow.
tell you, our employees were only getting paid $10 an hour.
Oh,
Is
that's
that a
hard.
livable wage?
That's not.
It's not.
Mm-mm.
But what we did end up doing is we came in, we said, okay, well, we're going to start our employees off between 14 and 15 now.
Okay.
Again, it's not much, but it's progress.
Right.
And
Right.
we're going to do what we can do to try to get them up to that livable wage so that way they can continue to work with us.
Mm-hmm.
We expanded the Manassas Restore. We rebranded a name and we rebranded our reputation. We used to have the affiliate office in the Restore. I opened up a whole new segment right beside the Restore.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
our money, our money was looking funny. You know, we were in the red. So what I ended up doing, I started raising money to keep the doors open. And within a
Mm-hmm.
7 month period, I was able to raise $400,000 in grants and charitable
Ooh,
contributions. So the
man.
time for closing the doors and merging, that was no more.
Wow.
You know, ended up reshaping our board. We went from two and now we're up to eight.
All
It's a
right.
diversified board,
All right.
the board that looks like people in our community. People who look like you and me. We can't have people that's going to be on a board and it doesn't mirror our community, because then that doesn't create transparency and it also does not create trust.
Keep it real.
You know?
Mm.
So I ended up restructuring that. And not only that, we just had to make sure we talk to our board of supervisors, the mayors. We never had relationships with them. Wow. When I went to knock on some of those doors for our board of supervisors, like Supervisor Andrea Bailey, Supervisor Victor Angry, Supervisor Bodie.
That's right.
Supervisor Margaret Ann Franklin. They were like, oh, we didn't know you were in our backyard.
Wow. Look at that. Look at that.
So we literally had to go out and let people know that we were outside doing the work, and we wanted to make sure we had a seat at the table. I'm happy to say now we're profitable.
Okay.
Our doors are open. Out of 31 affiliates, we're the number 4 as far as profit. So we're doing our thing, and instead of being on the menu, we're actually being served.
Go ahead, brother.
So look, that's what we're doing out here,
ladies and gentlemen. This right here, this is what excites me. When you see a brother that comes in and really takes himself and the company, the organization that he's associated with, from the brink of basically extinction.
That's right.
And to now expand. Number four. I mean, from almost being closed to number 4, 400,000. You said?
Yes, sir. In 7 months.
Man, look, brother, you bad with what you do, and kudos to you, your commitment, first of all, and really understanding what you're being called to do, and just jumping in head on. Kudos to you. You should be commended. I thank you for what you're doing here in our community locally, and hopefully, Habitat for Humanity at large will continue to find and have more people like yourself that are passionate about their community, because I think that's important first before we can even talk nationally or internationally. We have to start in our own backyard, and you are the epitome of that. So thank you, Marcus, for all your work and dedication, man. Continued success to you.
I appreciate that, Damon. Like you said, my friend, it's all about on a micro scale, right, brother? I want to make sure we take care of our family first. And there's this misconception. I'm going to throw this out at you. It's a misconception that if you live in Northern Virginia, you're doing great.
Okay, tell them.
Right? You live in Northern Virginia, you're either in the government or you're a doctor or a lawyer. In the pandemic, that was just a brush off your shoulder and you were good. The pandemic hit. Oh, I got to refinance my mortgage at 2%. So we're getting money out here.
That's
we're getting back. But what if you go 5 miles down the road at a low-income family? Can they say that same story?
Sure couldn't, because I know some of those horror stories. Keep it real. Like, we're going to talk about it. Know some of those horror stories.
Right.
People that have actually experienced went, like you said, people just because their government or whatever, that pandemic took so much from so many.
That's right.
A lot of people living paycheck to paycheck. You want to keep it real.
Yeah. And then you live in Northern Virginia, Prince William County, but yet you are forced to come up here to work and commute from Fredericksburg or Glen Allen or what have you. That math ain't mathing.
Yeah, that math don't math at all.
It doesn't make sense. Yes, we have to do something to bring these issues to the forefront, and that's what Habitat Prince William is doing. We're looking for that land so we can build, so we can tap into those grant funds and have affordable housing. Because through Habitat's program, damn it, I'm gonna tell you this: through our program with low-income families, if you're qualified, don't you know you could get a mortgage close to 0% interest?
Oh wow, I had no idea.
Families who partner with us can get close to 0% interest through the grants that we get through Virginia Housing or the Virginia Trust Fund.
What?
So this is how it goes. So listen, let's say our family gets a $400,000 house.
Right.
Okay. And then we end up getting a grant on behalf of that house at $200,000. That $200,000 grant is in a silent trust on a second note. It's forgivable up to 15 years. So if that family lives in that home for 15 years, that second mortgage is forgiven.
It's forgiven.
And now they have equity free and clear. You had a $400,000 house, now it's $200,000.
What? Man,
talk about generational wealth, right?
Right there.
Right there. But people don't know So you have to be able to advocate and talk about our program so that way we can give it out. We have 2 homes that are ready to rock and roll right now. We just got to get a family to qualify.
What?
Yeah. And
Man,
our mortgages through our program can run between $800 or $900 a month for a mortgage. I'm not gonna tell you how much my mortgage is,
look,
but it's not that.
I can tell you right now, I know it's not that. Not living around here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a
What?
wonderful program.
What?
Yes, sir.
So look, real quick, just talk about a couple of programs or give some program names. We'll make sure we put those down also in the show notes because I want
Great.
people, like I said, if you're listening, ladies and gentlemen, like you said, generational wealth. We're talking about $800-900 a month. Opportunity to pay on a home, a $400,000 home, or $200,000-300,000 home. It's almost unheard of here in Northern Virginia. It's
Mm-hmm.
almost unheard of. So if you know of anyone living in this area, please check this out. And I'm gonna let Marcus talk for a minute or two. Just talk about maybe one or two of those other programs maybe that you can share that people can go out and maybe try to take a part of through Habitat for Humanity.
Absolutely. So we also have our critical home repairs program. Critical home repair program is for persons who are low income, they're disabled or on Social Security, or they're a vet that's a senior who is low income and they just can't traditionally pay for those repairs. So, for example, let's say there's a family that needs a roof repair or HVAC repair, or they have a deck that's about to get deteriorated, and then the city or town decides they're going to do some code enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
If you apply for our program, Habitat is going to pay for that.
Mm.
The only thing we ask in return is sweat equity.
Wow.
Again, we're not giving you a handout, we're giving you a hand up.
Look at that.
So let's say that $7,000 repair for that family, it's going to cost you nothing. Only thing we're asking for is a few hours of your time to either
Wow.
make us some lunch or to come out and volunteer at the restore or even just come out and swing a hammer.
Wow.
But again, we got to get that word out for that program.
Mm-hmm.
We also work with disabled or persons with disabilities in school for a
Right.
program for a job placement in programs. So
Wow.
if you ever come to our Manassas Restore and you're seeing students with disabilities out there working and cleaning, we partner with Patriot High School so that way we can get those students' social skills up and also teach them job training skills so that way they can be comfortable and confident. I'm
Wow.
also happy to say that sometimes we actually hire those students.
That's
We've
what's
had
up.
2 students that we hired maybe about 3 years ago, and they've gone off right now. That one is a tech student for a diesel mechanic.
That's what's up.
And then we have another student from, I think it was Liberty High School. We partner with them as well. That is out right now, and they're doing office work.
Man, that's what's up, man. Look, these are the type of things, ladies and gentlemen, that excite me and excite us here on Two Mics Up. We're going to make sure we do what we can to drop that information in the show notes, Marcus. This has been an incredible conversation, and now we're coming to the end. I want to also allow you to please share your social media information where people can find you, follow you, reach out to you, um, and really go out and support Habitat for Humanity, Prince William County.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can follow me on LinkedIn at my name, Markus Crewe, MPP, or you can go to our Facebook pages at Habitat for Humanity, Prince William County, or Habitat for Humanity, Manassas Restore. And I just want to leave your listeners with this, please. The best thing you can do for us in order to help us is advocate. It only costs you a little bit of time to just repost this interview that we had. It just takes a few seconds to just post something on Facebook saying Habitat is doing X, Y, and Z. We're always looking for somebody to partner with us to swing a hammer. Not asking for you to have experience, just have a big heart to just come out and help and having willingness to learn to do those things. And last but not least, I just want to say this. I'd be lying if I said we did not need donations. We do need donations to not only keep our doors open, but to help fund our programs in Prince William, Manassas, and Manassas Park.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Go out and support. Go out and help Marcus and this cause that the Habitat for Humanity is doing here in Prince William County, especially if you're in the Prince William County area. This is huge. Marcus, thank you for taking time out of your schedule today to sit here and educate me and educate us. And continued success to you and all that you do through Habitat for Humanity and with yourself, brother. Keep doing what you do, man. I really appreciate you and all that you're doing.
Thank you, Damon. And again, thank you for the opportunity. Many blessings, peace, and love to you and prosperity for 2023. And let's make our communities better, brother.
I couldn't have said it any better. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Another great episode of Two Mics Up. We are back better than ever for season 5. I'm your man, Dame D NYDC. Two Mics Up. You can follow me on IG, Facebook, and Twitter at Dame D NYDC. You can also follow Two Mics Up online, IG, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Two Mics Up. And you know how we do as we close out each and every time, ladies and gentlemen. May you stay safe, stay blessed. Mics out.
007.